3, 2, 1. What is up, everybody? It is your boy BTG Inferno, and we are coming at you with a brand new episode of Broken Controllers. This week it is going to be Season 2, Episode, 7? 6 or 7?
I think so, yeah.
I think it's Episode 7. As always, I'm joined by my co-host here, Chubbs. What's up, man?
Going good, man.
So today we have a couple different things to talk about. First and foremost, we are talking about the new Xbox Series X chip is reportedly in development. Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 release date is delayed, and of course the Activision shareholders approved the Xbox deal, but there are certain people that have their doubts about that. There's all this and more, of course. We are going to continue to go into news stories throughout the show. So, quick housekeeping, guys. We did get the first episode of Throwback Thursday recorded. Like I said, we want to record a couple. We want to record a few before we start releasing these. So we're probably about another couple weeks out at least. I have to figure out an editing situation anyway, so just long story short, guys, a couple more weeks, bear with us. Throwback Thursday's almost here. We're working real hard to get it out there, so just bear with us, like I said. That's pretty much it, guys. And also, another thing, YouTube channel. Please, if you guys get a chance, go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do any editing for a minute, but we will be sharing the live streams because I'll be recording this as well. We will be sharing the live streams on YouTube. So, and of course, those stream links will be shared out on Twitter at the Broken Controllers Twitter page and also the Facebook page, Broken Controllers Facebook fan page. So follow those for further details, guys. Anyway, that's going to do it for the housekeeping stuff. Let's just get right into it. Chubbs, what are you playing this week?
Well, what I've been playing this week is, been going back to the old Grand Theft Auto 5. I just keep going back to this game no matter how many times I step away. I think in total right now I've played 140 hours on this game, so I definitely love to play this game. It's definitely a huge time-wasting game that I just go back to all the time. Recently, I used to put a lot of mods on this game, and what I find is that it just kind of ends up crashing after a certain point because of certain updates that happen. And so I'm just going back to just having like one or two different mods, having like a graphics mod and like maybe some other like goofy one or two different mods here. One of the more favorite ones that I've been playing with is a fuel mod. So what happens is after a certain point, your car can no longer run unless you go through like this gas station. And there are gas stations all throughout Los Santos, but if you're like me who loves to just cause crime and havoc, and you're running from the cops and you get on the highway and you run out of gas, it's definitely hilarious to try to get away from the cops.
All right.
So I just stick with just a couple of these now. Something that was actually really interesting, the graphics mod that I've been using, it's called Natural Visions. I actually found that actually recently got taken down from the GTA Mods website because has a much better one that he's got out, but it's behind a Patreon wall, and I think it's Natural Visions. What was it? Natural Visions Remastered, and it's behind like a $10 Patreon wall. So I wasn't quite ready to pay for that yet.
Right.
So I'm glad that I still have that old mod pack at the very least. And I just have like a mod tool inside of it, and I just play the regular storyline from time to time. I don't like playing the online mode that much because if you weren't playing online GTA Online back then, it's pretty much difficult to try and get on and do well in these games. And one thing that they actually haven't addressed is if you play GTA Online on your computer, um, there's been some programs that they're able to use to actually look at your IP address, and people can see where exactly you're playing from. So it's actually kind of a good thing if you're playing GTA Online to use a VPN,
Right.
because it's just something that Rockstar hasn't addressed, and I will not play online because of those reasons. So I just go through playing the story mode.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I used to play this game quite a bit, but I only ever played the online. So I never got into the missions or anything like that. I have some gameplay on the screen right now. I never got into the missions or anything like that, but I mean, for what it's worth, this game actually is pretty good as far as gameplay goes.
Yeah, it's just so amazing how detailed actually everything is in the world of Los Santos. I'm just blown away every day by just little things that I find, and some of my favorite things to do are just play through when it's like extra sunny and just drive on the highway.
Yeah.
That I still think that that's actually kind of fun, and it'll be really amazing. Because I think I heard the Oculus Quest, is going to have Grand Theft Auto San Andreas built in for it. So that would be pretty amazing to be able to drive in Los Santos or drive in GTA or something in like the Oculus.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So that's really all I've been playing this week.
Oh, did you want to talk about
um,
Dragon Ball Fighter Z?
Oh yeah, I guess I have been playing a little bit of Dragon Ball Z Fighters. That game is actually pretty fun. I've
This
been
is actually
playing
the
with
main
just
bad guy in that. This is Android 21 here. We have her on the screen. You
yeah,
find out pretty early that she's the main bad guy.
yeah. I just actually found out about that in the storyline, and it's definitely a pretty fun game. There's the tutorials and stuff that they do. There's so much of it, but I'm kind of glad that they do, because at least they're telling you how to do stuff. Because we played plenty of Dragon Ball Z games where they don't really tell you the greatest way of how to actually play the game.
Right, exactly. Well, you have to do the tutorials, and even then, it's not exactly clear all the time. They
Yeah.
want you to try and figure it out yourself. That's actually what I really liked about Kakarot was like it gave you a very basic like here's how you move, here's what you do, but like as far as like your missions go, figure it out. You know.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So
Yeah. So Dragon Ball Z Fighters is definitely a game that I'm going to be playing a lot more of. I wish that something like this would have come out like along the 360 line, or like um, during that era. I mean, Burst Limit was great, but we didn't really get anything else kind of after that. And a lot of people really weren't a fan of Raging Blast. I personally liked it, but I know a lot of people really didn't, and I can understand why. It's definitely an odd game.
right.
And then Battle of Z, I don't know. Did you ever play Battle of Z?
I actually liked Battle of Z a little bit, but it wasn't like I don't know. All the Dragon Ball Z games post Budokai 3, dude, were not like my cup of tea really. Up until really like Xenoverse.
Yeah, Xenoverse was really fun.
But like I played a good portion of this. I didn't play a lot of the story, but I did play online. I got pretty good at it, and then I just stopped. The problem becomes, dude, there's so many Smurfs on this game online, and it's just like I don't. It's I don't know, man. Like
Mhm.
when you have that many Smurfs on a game, like you need to be able to monitor that. Like you need to be able to ban people.
Yeah,
There's other games that are able to do it. The technology's there. Like don't sit here and tell me like it's going to be hard to be able to monitor that sort of thing because Apex does it, Fortnite does it. There's all these different online games that do it. Like I know you can do it, you know, like
What
and
exactly? Like what exactly are you meaning?
to ban the Smurfs, deal with the Smurfs in that game. The Smurfs, like what they'll do is they'll rack up all these losses, or they'll make a brand new account so that they can fight new players. And it's so bad
Oh,
in the online environment in Fighter Z, dude. It's just it's kind of sickening, honestly.
yeah. So it doesn't give new players an ability to actually like progress because it's filled with all these people who are like super advanced.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's only part of the problem, but the other part of the problem is like you can't. Not only can you not advance, but it's like it's like um you can't, like, you don't win the matches. You know what I mean? Like you don't,
Mhm.
if you're not getting any reward system, like the whole idea behind video games is play, get better, reward, right? Like that's what I experienced with Mortal Kombat quite a bit. Like Mortal Kombat 9, 10, and 11 were really good at like taking a new player and like slowly ramping them into the online environment. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's something that Dragon Ball Fighter Z doesn't do well. Like you have all these people that are running around, like you said, they're super advanced. You're not winning any of your matches. You're like, okay, well then why am I playing online? It's not a good way to bring people to your online environment. You know what I mean? This is supposed to be an
Yeah.
accessible game. Like before anything else, you should be worried about your fan service and like, are your fans enjoying this game? This is absolutely where your game should be geared towards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like
Exactly.
honestly, it's been kind of like brutal, dude. The online environment. I haven't had a good time with it, honestly. Um,
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of like playing a lot of like fighting games online. Because I know that I'm not the greatest at it, and there are people on there that would whoop my ass.
well, yeah, and like I get that, you know what I mean. But like stuff like Mortal Kombat, like something that you're good at, where you get that dopamine rush. You know what I mean? Like it's nice to be able to have more than one fighting game, and like it's really cool. Like this game is like you can see the gameplay right now. Like it's really cool. You know what I mean? It's incredible game. It's an incredible game, but if you can't win online, man, like why are you playing it online? You know what I mean? Like I bought all this DLC for it, and I was like, sure, I was gonna enjoy this game. And it's just like the Smurfs made me not want to play.
Yeah.
So it's a
Uh,
bummer. They need to do better at monitoring that kind of thing, if you ask me.
yeah. Well, hopefully maybe who knows, maybe it'll get
They did stay
fixed
true
maybe
to the
someday.
story. You know what I mean? Like you don't have a Super Saiyan 3 Goku running around.
No, not only when you do like the ultimate move or something like
Yep,
that.
yep, that's it. So they stay true to the story, which I am impressed about. So
Yeah, the story is pretty nice so far from what I've seen.
anywho, so that's Dragon Ball Fighter Z, guys. I'm gonna go into what I've been playing here. I played a little more of, or that's a lie. I played a lot more of Lego Star Wars. Um,
You
this game
haven't
is
can't get
really
enough of it, huh?
well. I'm starting to burn out on it a little bit because the fact of the matter is just like this is a lot of gameplay. You have 6 different games, or excuse me. Sorry, backtrack that. 9 different games that are put into this one new game, and like I figured, okay, each one of these was going to be like an hour long. Like I talked about this a couple weeks ago, maybe like last week or the week before that. I talked about this and I said, look, like Star Wars Episode 1 was pretty short. And like
Hmm.
all of them seem to be about like maybe an hour in length. No, I was wrong. Uh,
Nope.
episode 2, which has actually turned out to be my favorite episode so far. I've done episode 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I'm starting on 5. Um, Episode 1 was pretty short, but episode 2, which turned out to be my favorite episode so far, just because of like how it's just how good it is. So episode 2 was really good. It was like 3 hours long, maybe 3.5 hours long, and like Revenge of the Sith was like twice as long as that. You know what I mean? So it was like, okay, they're definitely longer games. Like when you get past the initial like first episode, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying this game. I just it's a lot of gameplay to it's a lot of gameplay to swallow, really, because it's like I said, it's 9 different games, and I'm probably looking at about, when it's all said and done, I'm probably looking at about, 30 to 40 hours of Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
And that's not including the free play stuff, which is its own dynamic. You know what I mean? And
it's so big, the game.
It's huge, dude, and that's one of the problems with it. Like, I don't have 1,000 hours to dump into your game.
Yeah, because there's so much exploration that you have to do. I didn't understand that it was like an open world. I thought there was going to be like this, like central hub, like it always has been. But no, it's like a modern Lego game. Like it reminded me of like Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, where you could walk around a big open area and then go into the levels. That's pretty much what this does.
Yeah, sorry, I had to let this cat out. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this game. Like I said, it's it's a lot. I put other things in accordingly. Like I played a little bit more Among Us this week. Which I might talk about. I don't know. It's kind of the same thing. And then I played a very, very small amount of Destiny. But I mean, this is pretty much all I played, dude. I didn't have a lot of time this week just because of how busy my work schedule is, and not only that, but also I'm trying to get a new job. You know what I mean? So like, luckily I have a job interview, so hopefully that things will settle down here in just a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully so, dude.
But this is Star Wars this is Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Apparently, it's actually one of the things I like about this game. You can beat other people up. Anyway, apparently this game is selling really, really well. So, and I'm kind of grateful for this podcast, because I wouldn't be playing this game if it was for this podcast. I would have just been like, I'll get it, whatever. I'm not going to play that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now I'm actually like, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying this game. So,
yeah, this game was definitely really fun.
I just wish, like, the completionist hours were just like, even if it was like closer to 100 hours, like maybe that's more doable than like a lot more. Like
Yeah.
they want a lot of your time to complete this game. Dude, this game is huge, and I haven't even scratched the surface of it yet. Like, beating the game, you're gonna barely scratch the surface. Like, this game is incredible. So if you get a chance, guys, your buddies own it, or you get a chance to play it on like a subscription service that you have or whatever, play this game, because I'm telling you right now, you won't regret it. Like, I've had an incredible time with it. Episode 4 was a little boring, if you ask me, but Episode 5 quickly became like one of my favorite Star Wars episodes of all time. So like, I'm excited to play through Episode 5 and see if they hold true to the story. So, like I said, if you get a chance, go play this game, guys. You won't regret it. It really is good. That's gonna do it for our what we've played segment. Like I said, we did talk about. I did play Among Us a little bit. I think our scene was too big. Oh no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was the correct size. I just resized it. There we go. Anyway, so moving forward, guys, we are going to go into our news section. Like I said, I haven't had a lot to play this week. Chubbs was kind of in the same situation, so we're just gonna move right forward, right through into our news section. Um, First and foremost, the news story that everybody's been waiting for. This was a story out of GameSpot by one Darren Bontois. If I butchered that, I'm sincerely sorry. Anyway, this is an article out of GameSpot. It says new Xbox Series X chip reportedly in development, but don't expect better performance. Very first things first. What do you think about this, Chubbs?
Well, I'm honestly can say I'm not surprised that we're going to be getting a new chip, but I can't imagine basically how they're going to do it, considering there are all of these chip shortages. I guess they're going
Well,
to try to find a way to make a better one, I guess, but
well, I don't think the target is a better one. I think the target is to have an Xbox Series X chip that is used specifically for Xbox Series X. So you're not going to run into
yeah,
graphics cards problems later on down the road, right? Like what we have right now, like with these graphics cards problems, like we have a really
yeah.
small shortage. And I think with this Xbox Series X chip, I think this is something proprietary that they're going to use to actually develop their consoles.
Yeah, it's definitely great because that means that if there's going to be a new chip, I'm hoping that that means that maybe there's going to be a new kind of Xbox Series X, maybe.
Maybe actually. I mean, let's think about it, dude. You know what I mean? Like it's been consistent with video game console history that when we get a new quote unquote new launch console, we always get some sort of slim edition later or some sort of upgraded edition
Hmm.
later. You know what I mean? Like we've seen this with the PlayStation and the PlayStation 2 Slim, the PlayStation 2. You know, we've seen iterations of the PlayStation 1. We've seen iterations of the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 3. Like, this is
Yep.
a common thing. Like, and Xbox has done this as well with their Series S and their Series X and different situations like that as well. So it doesn't surprise me that, like, if they are working on something like this, then it'll obviously be, you know, the next generation of Xbox series consoles that you can expect in the logical succession. You know what I mean? Like I can see an Xbox Series X Slim or something like that.
That would be really cool, actually, because it would give everybody, I definitely have not been able to get one myself, so I usually wait until there's like some new generation where they've had, maybe they'll have some sort of like maybe if it's not a graphics improvement, maybe it'll be some sort of like battery improvement
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something, or not battery, but like a power performance or something like that.
Well, it says right here the smaller chip likely won't meet a slimmer version of the Xbox Series X this early into its life cycle. For comparison, the Xbox 360 Slim was released 5 years after the original console, and the Xbox One S arrived 3 years after the launch of the Xbox One. So I guess they're saying like, hey, look, it's not. This is probably like this is not going to be like a slimmed down version. However, it is worth noting that this chip is just now in development.
Hmm.
I can see it taking a year, maybe even two to develop. You know what I mean? And then we're right in that time frame. You know what I mean? So like,
Hmm.
yeah, in the immediate, right now as it stands, like yeah, it's a little early. Give it a couple of years. You know what I mean? And if this thing launches by what we'll say late 2023, like yeah, I would say it's pretty. I think it's pretty. What's the word? It's pretty feasible to see
Hmm.
a slimmer Xbox Series X. You know, at that point. So that's just how I feel about it. Um, the article goes on to say, despite ongoing supply shortages, the Xbox Series X and a smaller S sibling have managed to sell well since they were launched in November 2020. As of January this year, analysts estimated the Xbox Series XS consoles combined to ship 12 million units since the launch globally. Here's the thing. Whether or not you support Xbox, PlayStation, whatever side of the aisle you fall on, is really, truly irrelevant. You know what I mean? Like, if it's good for games, it's good for games. You know what I mean? We shouldn't be, trying to compare this to, like, a situation where, like, it's oh well, Xbox has to improve its chip capability to keep up with PlayStation, or vice versa. You know what I mean? Like, it's good for games to have a chip, another chip developed for the Series X. But with that being said, it's a lot easier to find a Series X right now than it is to find a PlayStation 5. You know what I mean?
That's for sure. I can't find a PlayStation 5 anywhere.
What's that?
Oh, I'd say I can't find a PlayStation 5 anywhere.
Yeah, and like you can go to places like Aaron's and get them, but you're still paying ridiculous prices. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what, you're gonna have to pay to play the new systems. You know what I mean? And it kind of is what it is. But at least you can find the Xbox Series X a little bit more readily. I saw one on the GameStop shelves. It was surprising. It's still there. So I'm surprised. You know what I mean? Like, I hope that whatever they do with this chip, whatever they decide to do, whether they decide to improve it or they decide to keep it the same so that they can continue to manufacture Xbox Series X, I hope whatever they do with it, it's good for both the consumer and Xbox, right? Because we need to have more Xboxes coming out so that we can get them into the hands of more people. You know what I mean? I don't want to go pay $1,300 for an Xbox Series X.
I would not like to either. Yeah,
so I'll get one when I can, but only when they're reasonable. So,
exactly.
Moving on, Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 release delayed until spring of 2023.
Oh, man.
Yeah, let me read this story and then we'll kind of talk about it here. This was interesting. Just because then if you're Nintendo, you're thinking, okay, well, oh, dang it, I just opened Steam. What a bummer. That was stupid. If you're Nintendo, you're thinking, okay, well, this is like one of our big properties. So if you're Nintendo, you wanna make sure that this is done. Anyway, let me read this. This was a article out of GameSpot, written by one Eddie Makuch. Again, if I butchered that name, I'm truly sorry. It says Nintendo's announced that Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 has been delayed from its original 2022 window. Will not launch on time in 2022. The game has been given a spring 2023 window. Series producer I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Just do the best you can.
Eiji Aonuma announced in a video update. Says, quote, for those of you who've been looking forward to a release this year, we apologize. Aonuma said the adventure in the sequel will take place not just on the ground as in the previous game and also in the game, but also in the skies above. So it says, however, the expanded world goes beyond that, and there will be an even wider variety of features you can enjoy, including new encounters and new gameplay elements, end quote. It says Breath of the Wild was a launch title for Switch. It went on to sell 25.8 million copies worldwide as of December 31st, 2021, making it one of the best-selling Switch games ever. What do you think about this, Chubbs?
Well, it is really sad, that it keeps getting delayed. But honestly, I would rather have a game delayed because they don't feel that it's ready and have them actually like work on it than it not be ready and have it be like a crap game.
Yeah, yeah, I can understand that. But the other thing is, like I said, if you're Nintendo, you understand that this is your breadwinner, right?
Hmm.
So like maybe make sure this game. I don't know, man. Maybe they got their hands full with other titles. I know that Metroid Prime 4 is probably not happening. Like that would have been nice
Yeah,
to see.
it's gonna be a long day for that.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Maybe Nintendo's got their hands full. I don't know. But I do know that like as far as Breath of the Wild goes, like maybe I played that game and I thought it was fantastic. The thing that I just really didn't like about it was the fact that it had no real dungeons. The what are they called? The divine beasts were supposed to be the quote unquote dungeons, and
Hmm.
they didn't live up to. I don't know. I guess there was one. I mean, I guess they did have a boss at the end of the dungeon right before you had to actually do the thing with the divine beast. But honestly, well, I hear a truck. Let me check this real quick. I want to look at this. That was weird. That was really loud. Anyway, uh, uh, but it wasn't like you got to fight like the divine beast or anything like that. Like you did like a thing with them to make sure that like you could subdue them, right, and like
Hmm.
break them of Ganon's control. But like for the most part, like you weren't like it. It wasn't like other Zelda games. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah, I never got a chance to play any like the Breath of the Wild. I heard it's really fun, but I never been into the Zelda franchise that much really.
yeah, I truly like it, but it was different. It was a different speed. You know, it was a different speed.
Hmm.
So is what it is. I'm kind of bummed out to see that this is delayed, but like you said, I would rather them take time, polish it up, work on it, make it look like a good game, and then later down the line, when it's ready for release, then release it. You know,
Hmm.
we don't need any
Exactly.
unfinished games anymore, like any more than we
Right.
have.
Exactly.
So, no day one updates. I refuse. Anyway, uh, moving forward. Um, Activision investors okay Xbox deal, but Wall Street has doubts. This is a story coming out of Kotaku by one Ethan Gatch, maybe? Gatch. It says, quote, shareholders of Call of Duty, the Overwatch 2 publisher Activision Blizzard voted overwhelmingly on Thursday to approve the $69 billion sale to tech giant Microsoft. The deal gives golden parachutes to top execs at Activision, including embattled CEO Bobby Kotick. But despite gaming's biggest acquisition ever, moving one step closer to completion, the company's weak stock price indicates Wall Street investors still think the deal could ultimately collapse. End quote. The article goes on to say, back in January, Microsoft announced its plans to acquire uh, Activision for $95 a share. That doesn't matter. Acquire Activision for $95 is what it says right here.
Wow.
In a share in an all-out cash deal. Double-digit premium on the stock was valued after months of disturbing reports of lawsuits around the Call of Duty makers' alleged history of gender discrimination and misconduct. And then at the end of the article, it says, "Well, actually, this is actually a pretty long article, but at the end of the first part of the article, it says, in approving this quote, in approving the $69 billion deal, shareholders also said yes to potential millions of payouts for the company's top leadership, as reported by Axios. Kotick alone could see up to a $22 million bonus, not including his gains from sales of personally owned stock, if a subcommittee of Activision board members decides that he has done enough to fix the sexist workplace culture he allegedly oversaw for years." So, like, all that he has to do is say, okay, yeah, I'm going to fix this, and actually follow through with some sort of deal, and he will get his $22 million bonus.
That's crazy.
Well, it's worth noting this guy is not a good guy. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot allow your company to be discriminatory toward, women. Like, that's not...
Yeah, that's not cool, man.
You certainly don't deserve a $22 million bonus. Like, for sure. That being said, like, maybe, like, I don't know how you deal with that, man. I honestly don't know how you deal with that. A lot of Wall Street has its doubts or whatever, but you have to understand that acquisition in gaming is a much different is a much different beast than acquisition in, like, movies or, like, titles or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not going to be able to tell people who they can and can't, like, acquire in the gaming industry like you can in other industries. You know what I mean? And as much as, like, Wall Street has been right as far as business goes in the past, like, this is still video games. You know what I mean? This isn't, like... I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to fall through.
It's really interesting. I'm curious to see how the rest of this is going to play out, because yeah, I just think that by this acquisition, like, going through, they're just, like, sweeping under the rug everything that is a problem, I feel, and nothing's going to get addressed.
And that's part of the problem. Like they're just trying to sweep it under the rug so that they can get the acquisition through to Microsoft and just be like, well, our hands are clean of this thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, your hands are not clean of this thing. You have a moral obligation to make sure that your company is not discriminating against women. Like, that is your obligation as a company.
Yep.
I don't like how, this what is it? This Kotick? Is that his name?
Bobby Kotick.
Yeah. I don't like how he's getting so much money out of this. He doesn't deserve it.
I'll
tell you that right now.
With all the shit that he's done towards these people, and as I'm sure we will get into it later on. Oops. I think we can kind of lead into that with this next article here, where Activision Blizzard has been accused of threatening employees for speaking out.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know. Go ahead and read that story.
Yeah, it's an article by The Verge. So Activision Blizzard is facing another complaint by the National Labor Relations Board, and that is trying to keep employees from talking about their work conditions, despite their legally protected rights to do so.
Wow.
So, according to the complaint, an employee was threatened by a manager after posting an article about the lawsuit in Slack and discussing holding Activision and Blizzard accountable with other coworkers. And according to the former Blizzard senior test analyst, Jessica Gonzalez, who was cited at the Communication Workers of America, The company has a pattern of relations against workers who speak out. So basically, if you speak out in this company that, hey, we don't like that, they're going to threaten you with basically, they're going to fire you or whatever. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
there's no
absolute.
need for that.
Yeah, there's actually laws against that, I think.
Well, yeah, that's what they're investigating. They're like, hey, what if you can't like threaten people that are exposing you for what you did when you did it wrong? Like,
Right.
what is wrong with you?
No doubt, dude. Like they definitely need to. Yeah, they need to get their shit in gear, for sure. Like, you can't. You definitely can't tell people like, hey, you can't talk about this. We're gonna file a lawsuit on you for talking about the things we did wrong. Like, that is the absolute like epitome of like turning things around to like try and make it look like it's your fault. You know what I mean? Like the fans' fault or the workers' faults. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Um, moving forward, we're gonna talk about the Disney game. However, um, I didn't watch a lot of that. Did you? Did you watch gameplay of that?
I just watched the trailer that they had, and it looked pretty interesting. The game is called Dream Valley by Disney.
It
It's
looks
coming out
good,
on
dude. It looks really
PS5 and
good.
PS4.
It looks really good.
Oh yeah, it
Um,
even said it in this article. Yeah, my initial reaction to this was this looks like Disney Xfinity, and that's what it says in this article here. Um, so it's supposed to come out to pretty much everything and the App Store. That concerns me a little bit.
yeah, they said that. Well, on it says that it has very light microtransactions. So my thing is like, hey, make this game good.
Hmm.
Let's make it entertaining. If you want microtransactions, I'll give you money, but only for fucking cosmetics.
Well,
Don't
that's how it
charge
was.
me for gameplay.
The last Disney game that I purchased for was Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, and I definitely sunk money into that game.
Right, and well, one of the other things that I was watching another podcast, and one of the things they were saying is that I think it was IGN, I believe, was saying that they had the customization in the game and everything you could do was like looking really promising.
Hmm.
So my hope is that this game doesn't fall through to be like a microtransaction pitfall. You know what I mean? Like I don't want it to be like Kingdom Hearts Union Cross or anything like that. Just make it a good game.
Right, exactly.
So anyway, just kind of quick touch and go there. Finally, our last story, and we will wrap it up after this story, guys. Says Call of Duty will now punish cheaters by making everyone else disappear. This is awesome. This is awesome. This is an
Nothing.
article
Hey,
written in Kotaku, again by Ethan Gack or Gatch. It says, quote, Call of Duty Vanguard has added a new tool in its arsenal of methods trying to humiliate cheaters. The online shooter's anti-cheat tech now includes a mitigation technique, end quote, called cloaking that will make everyone but the cheater invisible, a punishment worthy of Black Mirror. It says basically once Call of Duty's Ricochet anti-cheat security detects someone is cheating through the use of aimbots or other illicit means, everyone else in the game will be rendered as invisible to them. Even bullets will be hidden and all sounds of gunfire muted. Legitimate
wow.
players, however, can see cheaters impacted by cloaking. Generally, they'll be the players you see spinning in circles, hollering, "Who is shooting at me?" and can dole out the game punishment. This is so awesome, dude.
That's
Anyway,
yeah, because
end
hasn't it
quote.
been really bad?
What's that?
Hasn't it been really bad with the cheating and stuff on that game? I don't play that game that much, but
The cheating is bad, and it can be especially bad, especially on PC. But I just think it's awesome, dude, that, like, you know, you can't see me, but I can see you, and I can still shoot the shit out of you. Like,
right?
yeah, you're getting shot, dude. You know, like, I think this is a great way to punish cheaters. I think it's absolutely 100% the correct approach. They need to do more stuff like this in video games. If there's a way to piss cheaters off so that they're not, like, cheating anymore, I'm all about it, you know?
Yeah, dude,
So,
totally. Because I just think that like cheating, like online, like it just takes away from the fun. Like if you're if you're bad at the game, then get better at it and then go online. Don't cheat
it's
your
not
way
you
through
beating
it.
me, right? It's your tech.
Yeah,
You're not good at the game because you can write some code. You're not good at the game because you can fucking cheat. It drives me crazy, dude. It really
yeah, it's
does. It drives
insane.
me crazy. I think this is a wonderful way to handle the problem. I really do. But anyway, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Unfortunately, it was a shorter episode. Um, we didn't play a lot of games. Next week we will be talking about Tunic. Um, Also, be looking out for Throwback Thursday. Like I said, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on YouTube, like and subscribe, so that you can get notifications and about all of our new stuff that's coming out. We'll keep you guys posted. We're not going to keep you guys in the dark. I promise. Patreon will be coming here real soon. We are going to ask for uh, you know tiers more or less. For certain content that we post. You know what I mean? So we do need to make sure that we somehow have at least a little bit of an income with this stuff, because I'm going to have to buy some software and stuff, and it's not going to be cheap. So I just realized earlier today how much money this is actually going to cost. And
Oh yeah, this stuff
I can do
is
this. I can
definitely
half-ass
expensive.
this. I can half-ass this and go cheap, or I can do this the real way, and I want to do it the real way. So, Chubs, any closing thoughts for Season 2, Episode 7?
I'm just curious to see where this whole Activision Blizzard thing goes. Um, I'm wasn't really too thrilled when the whole thing happened because, oh, how convenient that Microsoft is now coming in just as Activision Blizzard is being accused of all of this stuff. It's just
Yeah,
like they're just gonna pat them on the back saying, "Oh, come to Microsoft. We'll solve all of your problems and we'll fund you and you'll never have to worry."
yeah, and then that becomes a problem with the $22 million bonus that Assface gets. You know?
Yeah, I'm definitely not thrilled about that. So,
Yeah.
um,
So, anyway, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. I really appreciate you guys coming to watch us for this week. Again, I'm really sorry it's a shorter episode. Next week we will be, like I said, we will be talking about Tunic a little bit. I'm gonna try and coordinate with Chubbs here and see if we can play some of the same games so that we can talk about it on Throwback Thursday, and then start releasing episodes for you guys as soon as possible. So that's gonna do it for us, guys. Appreciate you showing up. Peace. And we stopped recording.